Salvete omnes, ego sum, Gister Sullivan. Welcome back. We're going to talk about Caesar 1.3, where Orgetorix gets friends for a coup, or to join a coup. He's looking to overthrow or take over all of Gaul by himself. Remember that he is from the Helvetians, and that he feels like his people are hemmed in, desirous of war, and are strong enough to pull this off. But I think he realizes he needs some help. So here we jump in. So, Aducti, having been influenced by these things, these matters, these affairs, and having been moved thoroughly by the authority of Orgetorix, right? Again, his position in power, right? Auctoritas is a very important theme or trait for Romans. I don't know that Orgetorix isn't Roman, but this would have resonated with the Romans. So now we're going to start a very long group of infinitive phrases, right? Started by constituerunt. So they decided. They decided, and then we're going to go to our infinitives. Here's one. Let's go down. We're going to see three, coemere and facere. Three infinitives that go with constituerunt. So they decided to prepare. So if we look at this, right, this is parare. It's just to prepare. Those things or these things, right? And quae is going with that, which pertain, just like or pertained, you could say. This is a imperfect subjunctive. To or for setting out, like the journey. And to buy up or to grab up. And then here we have quam maximum numerum, as large a number, so as great a number, as many a number of, or as of, pack animals and carts. So these are genders, right? Right, of pack animals and of carts. And again, they decided to make as many of, or as do as many of the sowing of the crops. All right. So that the supply of grain would be at hand, would be ready on their journey. Kind of a smart idea. And then again, we have yet a fourth infinitive that goes up here with constituerunt. So again, think they decided to shore up, to strengthen peace and friendship with the neighboring or with the nearest city-states, with the nearest states. All right, so this is Orgetorix's plan, and he's convinced the nobilitas, nobiles, or to help him out in this. But he's going to get some more help, as we'll see. So, duxerunt usually means they led. Here it's going to be they established. They established a period of 2 years for themselves was enough for completing these things. So all of these, so for completing these things, right? So these kind of are all together. This is called a gerundive, whereas this is called a gerund. More on that later. Right, so verbal noun and then verbal adjective, because it's going with these two things. Right. So let's see if we can find a couple more, or at least one more that we can see in the near future. So they agree, they confirm the setting out, the departure, right? By law, right? Or in law or by law, in the 3rd year. Orgetorix, good old Orgetorix, is selected, is chosen. Like we get the word delegate from this. If you think of political system, delegations, right? is chosen for or to complete these things. Again, eas res conficiendas is repeated, right? So this is again a gerundive because it has two things to go with, or actually this is our noun that it goes with. Okay, so in short, they're making ready their trip. They're going to make sure they have enough grain. They're going to buy up enough pack animals and carts. All right, and they're going to get everything that they need to get done or prepared for setting out. Again, they need the grain as well. So that's why they're going to do as much planning as they can. And then they're going to strengthen their friendships with their neighboring states. All right, so they allot 2 years for this thing to get done, and on the third year, they agree by law that they're going to set out, and they choose Argetorix for this. All right, so he undertook the legate for himself to the states. So he's going to go even do it himself. So on this travel, on this journey, he persuades Casticus. Right, and so we're going to find out who Casticus is. But remember, so we have persuaded. So if we have persuaded, we should probably expect to have some type of ut clause. But because this is prose, we're going to wait all the way to here to get it. Here's our ut clause. But before that, we get some other information that we're going to discuss. So he persuades Casticus. Right now, normally we see Casticum here, but it's Casticus, Castico, because this takes the dative, persuadeo, to dative to the person. And he is the Sequanian son of Catamantalhados, right? Which, yeah, that's a tough word to say. Sorry. Whose father had obtained the kingdom in the Sequani for many years, multos annos, for many years, and he was friendly, or he was, I'm sorry, he had been called, he had been named friend by the Senate of the people of Rome, or by the Roman people. And so what is he going to persuade him to do? He's going to persuade him to seize, to occupy, to take the kingdom in. Sua is going to go all the way up here with Civitate in his own state, which his father had before. Okay. So a lot of information there. Casticus is the son of Catamalan. I can't say it. He's from the Sequani, which is the tribe near the Seine River. Again, think Paris. And his father's been in charge for many years, and he was an ally or friend to Rome. Okay. And likewise, again, we're going to say he persuades all the way down there, and here's our ut clause right next to it. He persuades Dumnorix, and he's an Aeduan, right? So again, another region or another place in Gaul. So he's the Aeduan brother of Duiacus, who at that time was obtaining the principate, the chiefdom, in his state. And he had been welcomed greatly to or by the plebs, which are the common folk. Right? And so again, if we go back to persuades, he's going to persuade Dumnorix to try the same thing. Again, this is a subjunctive verb. It's a perfect subjunctive, right? And it's the same kind of construction up here with we have ut or persuaded plus ut in the subjunctive, and then persuaded ut plus the subjunctive again. So a lot going on here grammatically. And he he. So we're still saying Orgetorix, right? Orgetorix gives his own daughter in matrimony to him. This is probably going to go to Dumnorix. All right, so it's very common in these times as well as Roman times to marry off your daughter, your sister. Um, God, I hope not your mom, or anybody else for that matter, for political power. And this seems no different among the Gauls or the Helvetians or the Aeduans or Sequani or whoever we're talking about right now. Okay? All right, so he approves. He approves that to do those things which they had tried, uh, it would be easy to do, very easy to do for them, because he himself would. This is we should probably mention this. This is a future active um, thing. So which he would or will um, obtain command of his own state. Okay, so he's going to do the same as well. All right. And then we have non esse dubium quin. So it is not doubtful that, or it is not doubtful that the Helvetians are powerful, or more powerful, or most powerful of all of Gaul, or the whole of Gaul. Okay. So again, he's glorifying his people here. So it is not doubtful that, it is not dubious that um, the Helvetians, our subject, uh, are the most capable, the most strong, or the strongest of the Gauls. Usually this is to be able to here, but it's more along the lines as powerful, like that sort of thing. Okay, so next he orders, or he confirms, he strengthens, he affirms that he, with his own troops and his own army, conciliatur masse, there should be an essay here, will unite the kingdom for them, to them, for them. Okay. So lastly, we have, having been influenced by this speech, the Helvetians give among themselves trust in their oaths. So jus iurandum, this is literally the law to be sworn. So you could just say their oaths. Okay. And with the kingdom having been seized, all right, we're going to draw a line up here. So we have a noun, regnum, and a participle. So with the kingdom having been seized, they hope that they can get possession of all of Gaul through or by these three very powerful and very strong nations. Again, that means Dumnorix of the Aedui, and Casticus of the Sequani. So along with the Helvetians, they hope that they can get it done. So again, a lot of grammatical things going on. Again, started off here with two perfect passive participles, a verb constituerunt that needs or has one, two, three, four infinitive phrases that go with it. Then we have one and two gerundives. And then we have two ut clauses with persuade, which we've kind of seen already now. We have, he persuades Casticus to seize his kingdom, or the kingdom in his own state, and then he persuades um, Dumnorix to do the same, to do likewise, to do the same, right? And they think, and he's going to bind his daughter to Dumnorix through marriage to kind of keep the bond together. But he's going to do the same in his own Helvetia, um, and he thinks that the Helvetians are the strongest of all the Gauls, and he, with his army and his own troops, are going to unite the kingdom. And then, so because they're hearing all this good stuff in this speech, the Helvetians go along with it, the nobles, because he's trying to build them up. And so we'll see what happens next. All right, next class or next week, we'll tackle Caesar 1.4, 1.5. So we'll see what happens to our friend Orgetorix. Oh, Ames. Curate ut valietis. Valete Ames. Until next time.